Now, wish me luck in splicing this all back together. Maybe I won't be able to. We'll see what happens. Well, hey there, friends. How's it going? I gotta talk to the camera. There you are. Hi. So it's been a while. I have been a little busy, just working and getting my daughter graduated from high school and getting my summer projects off to a rip-roaring start. I don't know about you, but hot weather does not make me want to knit, per se. I want to be doing stuff. I really want to be busy, but I don't necessarily want to sit with a big, fluffy piece of wool in my lap. Maybe I should start from the beginning. Hello, my name is Kat. You are currently watching Librophiliac Knits. I still don't know if that's a good enough name, but we're going with it. What do we got going on today? I just came to check in, say hi, show you what I've been up to, talk a little bit about knitting and wool prep and spinning and future project ideas and current at-home project ideas. There's a cat. She is exploring my yarn. She's a yarn killer. I don't know if you have a cat like this, but she's a stone cold yarn killer. Also, she really likes to lick plastic, and some of my yarn is currently encased in plastic, so it's just a double whammy. I should probably set that down. Okay, so hello. Hi. What do we got going on today? Well, finished objects, right? Is that how we usually start? I've been working on stuff and talking to you about stuff, and so look at this thing I finished, right? That's where we start. And the only thing that I have to show for myself is a hat. A very excellent hat. It is an inverted Stria. I mean, it's sort of my own spin on it because I made the ribbing much longer because I wanted a nice deep cuff option, or a, it can be really a skull cap, have that big like fisherman's hat vibe with the thick band, or it can be a little bit more chill and like slouchy. It's okay, it doesn't have a lot of slouch, but I like it. I don't really care if it's not as slouchy as I intended it to be. I can always make another one. I've got plenty more yarn left. I used the leftovers from my Stria cardigan, and I wasn't sure how much of the main color I would have left. This lovely, yarn. But I have so much of the stuff from the stripes that I had to make the stripes the fat part and the main color from the sweater into the thin part. I just thought that was a fun variation. I stuck to the exact same color change pattern that I had picked before, just inverted the color part for the background or main color or whatever, Yeah. So, a lovely hat to add to my collection that I will not need to wear for a long, long time. Because here in the lovely state of Minnesota, It's our first 97-degree day, which is why I'm sweaty and not trying to wear anything sweatery. What else is going on? Well, speaking of sweaters, I was working on that Andrea Mowry DRK March to May knit along, and I finished a shawl and a sweater. I'm fairly sure I didn't win anything because I haven't heard anything. I'm terrible about checking my email, but pretty sure I didn't win anything. But I still had a couple of weeks left to go. When May rolled around, I had finished my Stria cardigan and I got the Jones to cast on the Weekender. Now, this is a worsted weight, super, super simple, like basically just a straight stockinette sweater. You just flip it inside out. There's one row of a faux seam on the front and the back. It's a bottom-up sweater with a split hem. These are lots of things I haven't really done before, so that was fun to try. I was really enjoying it, and I had a whole bunch of this yarn that I had gotten from Knit Picks, where I originally told myself that I would just order one of each color because I didn't know which color combo I would like the best, and I would try them all out, and then I would order lots more of whichever one I liked the best. But in retrospect, here I'm sitting with 4 skeins of this lovely worsted yarn, and it's all the same gauge, and it's all sort of the same story. So it becomes like a fade. Well, hey, and Andrea Mowry is all about those fades. So it seemed fitting. And I am using stash that I've had forever, so that is great. I am really happy about that. The only problem was, I don't know if it was late at night or I was just still concussed or what, but I miscounted really badly. And when I finished the sweater the first time, I had done something a little bit different at the top, but I tried it on and all of a sudden I realized that the seam down the middle was not even remotely actually down the middle. And it was on the front, it was like not that noticeable, but on the back, it was so off center. Like, if your spine is the center, it was like inches over to one side. And, leaning, because it is a spiral, so like it does technically lean a little bit, but it made it so much worse. And so I thought about it, and I have a sweater from my very earliest garment making days where I sort of was making it up as I went along. I got this like set of paperwork to design your own sweater, like how to do the math, and you decide what sorts of patterning or whatever you want to put in it. And I did all of that. And by the time I got to the sleeves, I was feeling a little bit lazy. And so I just kind of went for it, and I wasn't super concise I wasn't diligent about keeping track of my decreases down the arms or up the arms. I don't remember anymore if it was top down. I think it was. But anyway, when I put this sweater on, I discovered that I had one puffed sleeve and one fitted sleeve. And at the time, knitting was still kind of laborious for me, and I couldn't bring myself to rip it back again. And eventually I had to rip back the collar because it was just a little too tight. I had done like a not very stretchy bind off or cast off. I don't know. I can't remember how I put this sweater together. It was really a long time ago. Sorry. But anyway, I decided to hunt down, pull out, I should say, the sweater I was talking about. It's inside out. This is the sweater that I was basically designing for myself. It had a design element that sort of was the same as something that I saw on the Knit Picks website. And when I was cheap enough to not want to purchase the pattern, so I just did it myself. It's just got this little double stripe element down one side, so it's asymmetrical. My dog's barking, I don't know why. Sorry. And then I did it again on the back. Oop, just down one side. And the yarn, like I said, is some beautiful wool silk blend, Italian. It's got some lovely color changes. Ooh, I really went for a long cuff. I haven't worn this sweater for a long time. I should wear it again. Maybe this fall. It is super warm. And like I said, I undid the collar. You know, making sweaters is hard to begin with, but then making them into a thing that you really love when you are not built like the model, or there is no model because you're making it up for yourself. It can be really tricky. So I went back and I did like Jenny's surprisingly stretchy bind off. I think I might have even changed how I did the ribbing so that it matched the cuff. It's like looks like it's a 4-to-1, like knit 4 purl 1 or purl 4 knit 1. See that? So it's not gonna be real stretchy. It just has the same, it just mirrors the effects of the other. Anyway, so one sleeve is super poofy. I don't know if you can tell. And the other sleeve is not so poofy. I would put it on, but I would absolutely roast alive. Just holding it up and like touching it, it's almost too warm. But I just wanted to show you what I was talking about. It's such a lovely sweater. See, you can kind of see the little stripe effect. I don't know. I should wear it more. Maybe I'll rip out the sleeve and then I'll wear it. I think it was top down because look at the raglan. Yeah. So I just didn't do my due diligence counting how often I decreased, and I didn't decrease often enough. And so one side is just too big. And all this to say that I thought about that sweater for about 3 seconds and I just went, there's no way. I don't want to waste this sweater for the same, stupid laziness. So I ripped it back. I frogged it all the way back to where the sleeve splits. And then I did it again and I changed my mind about how I had finished it, and I like it much better now. I tried to use a totally different yarn that is cashmere, just at the top where this kind of ribbing is, but it was a totally different gauge, and even changing needles, it was like see-through, and the whole rest of the sweater is so like woolly and thick that it was super soft against my neck, which was what I had been thinking about, but it just like aesthetically it did not please me. So when I ripped it back and did it again, I skipped that, and I will use that lovely cashmere probably for the thing I bought it for originally instead. But then I cast on for the sleeves, and I was trying to do them 2 at a time, and I got about this far along, maybe 3 inches. And when I was picking up the sleeves, the numbers were wrong. There was way less than I was expecting. And I went to put it on, and there's supposed to be a whole bunch of positive ease with the sweater, and the sleeves were just skin tight. And I, once again, decided that was not what I was going for. This seems like the kind of sweater you want to be able to toss over a nice t-shirt in the wintertime or the fall. And I've had sweaters like that before where they're super thick, like, flowy in the middle and then tight on the sleeves. And it's not really my style anymore. And it's not what I was going for with this particular sweater. So I ripped it back again, and I'm just, I'm giving it a little time because I might have to also like rip back the neck and make this longer, because I feel like I must have done something wrong, because I thought I just picked up every single stitch. And a lot of times when you're picking up along an edge, they want you to do like only pick up 2 out of 3. And I picked up like every single one. So then I'm like, can I pick up 3 for every 2 to make the sleeve bigger? Or should I just make this part longer so that there is more space with which to pick up the sleeve? And I needed to do it looser. It was tight, where like as soon as I ripped the sleeve off, all of a sudden this had so much more space and give than it had when the sleeve was attached. It was like tight. Anyway, all that to say, this is one of my works in progress. I should probably just keep it as a nice vest for the time being. Maybe then I would wear it, but it's going to be on timeout for a little while. Here's the yarn rolled up from both directions because I was trying to do 2 at a time sleeves so that I would run out of it equally on both sides, because there's not enough to finish the sleeves. And then I have to figure out what I want to do next. Do I want to try and color match? Do I want to buy more of this stuff? Because I'm out, like this is the end of my, this was one hole of the darkest, then the second darkest, and then the third. And then I did a little bit of the lightest. I might have a tiny bit more of the third, the second lightest, and this is the lightest one. But I'm just debating about how to finish those sleeves so that I really like it and I wear it all the time, because it's a lovely, lovely sweater. So yeah, it's one little friend. And then, I just cast them on. I don't even think about it. So like, it took me weeks to realize that I had been working on this sock and I never made it its own little project page because I'm not using any particular pattern. Just, the vanilla sock, the thing. Once you've had it once, or well, 5. Once you've knit like 2 or 3 pairs of socks, it's pretty easy to remember just about everything. The only thing that I look at a pattern for is that I like to do the fish lips kiss heel. I find it less obnoxious than the one where you make the gusset and then pick up to go the other way. Although maybe I'll revisit. I haven't done one of those in a long time. But anyway, this sock is already too big for me, so I'm not sure who it's for. I had an idea, but I might make them something else. My daughter's boyfriend is having a graduation party in July, and he gets very annoyed when I try to give him money and gives it back. So if I knit him some socks, so it's like a functional thing, maybe he'll actually keep it. Or maybe he'll hate him, whatever. It's okay. But so this is Patton's Croy. I don't remember the colorway. And this is just some black sock yarn, nothing special. And the toe, I haven't even started to bind off yet. I was going to make it kind of extra long so that I have plenty of leftovers and hopefully they will match and not be too different. That is work in progress number 2. And last but not least, ooh, I'm sweating. I have a beverage check. I cast on, and there's really not very much to show you because I've had the like Frog-it-itis, if that is even a thing. Like, I have never been so happy to just rip stuff out as I have been recently. It's just funny because I have like way too much yarn. So why am I going back to kill things when I'm already on to the next and on to the next? But I have cast on the As If Tea. And I'm going to do it in everything black. This is yarn from Knit Picks. I don't remember which one. I had the ball band for it, and I have like 3 or 4 more balls of this, but I don't know where it is offhand. It's a nice soft yarn. I think it's got a little alpaca in it, and it's got fluff on it. Sorry, but look at the texture on that. It's really fun. I'm holding it double because it's supposed to be like Aran weight, and this is sport. And it seems to be working out so far, you know. Just a little bit of ribbing so far. Goes pretty quick. I just got distracted and went back to making a sock. It's been so hot, and I have instead been working on a non-knitting project. So I will show you. That's the one last thing I brought for my show and tell just now. Look at this. This giant, look at the size of this thing. This giant bag of fluff is my hand prepped wool from sheep donations that have been given to me by friends and acquaintances. So I have, Baba Black Sheep, hello. Let's see, I was just reorganizing my garage, and I believe that I have 4 trash bags full of raw wool. Most of it's white, some of it's brown, none of it's been skirted or anything. Some of it is from a friend of mine who she has only recently become a farmer, and so she has like Katahdin sheep. She had one baby merino, and she was talking about he's got some genetic problems, and she wanted to have him culled, but he's already a wether. So I was like, if you could keep him and I could buy the wool from you, I would be real happy. And he's really cute, but you know, it's her farm, so she can do what she wants. But anyway, I've been washing this wool, especially in the summertime when you can do it outside. So sheepy. And then my auntie had some hand cards, and she re-gifted them to me for Christmas maybe 2 years ago. So I really need a drum carder, or to join the Weavers Guild of Minneapolis or Minnesota or whatever it is again, because they have drum carders you can borrow, and I should just keep doing what I'm doing and then join the Weavers Guild and just redo all of this with the drum carder so that I can get proper bats. Because right now, you know, coming off the hand carder, it's like this, and as you can see, like the cuts on this aren't very long, but it's nice and sticky, so it'll spin fine. Yeah, and not the cleanest. I did my best, but like, I'm no professional. So I've been having fun. I've been prepping some wool, getting ready to spin it. In the meantime, I've been spinning. I found like a deal for a pound of wool on Amazon. I don't even know what kind it is, but I've just been spinning that, kind of super fat, to try my hand at spinning thicker yarn, because thicker yarn knits up faster. Yeah, so those are the things that I have finished or in progress. I didn't bring my spinning wheel in here. It's just, I can't imagine angling it, the whole big monstrosity, so that you can have a look at it. I'll just show you what I've finished when it's off up there. So look who it is. It's our friend, the Magic Basket. What do we got in here today? Well, 2 things. Number 1, I wanted to show you, this is some of my hand spun from my Hello Yarn fiber club. So I was sent some fluff in the mail, and I turned it into this gorgeous bit of loveliness. And it's got some like thick, thin, and I think I don't know if this counts as a fractal spin. I am still not great at remembering to keep track of all the things that I'm doing, and just spin because it's fun and go for it. And it's this nice, like, squishy fat yarn, probably sort of anywhere from sport to Erin. And I got to figure out what to do with it because there's only the one, and it's so lovely. I mean, a hat would be a simple enough thing, but I feel like it deserves something even better. I just don't know what. So yeah, there's one of my other kinds of finished objects. It's beautiful. And then this is some other hand spun of mine. Oh, wait. From last year. And these, I don't remember anymore, unfortunately. I think I picked up the braids or bats or whatever I used to make this super fun. Unfortunately, my love, apparently my phone is running out of batteries, so, or not batteries, memory. So I didn't realize that it cut off earlier, and I'm coming back to try to retell you the story of this yarn. I was being self-deprecating and laughing at the fact that I did not say anything about what the makeup of this yarn is. Was I doing a fractal spin or just something else? I have no idea. What's it made out of? Where did I get it? I don't know. The only thing I wrote down is 290 yards, made 6/29/21. Nothing. I know nothing about this yarn other than I made it myself, and it's really pretty. See, it's got a whole color vibe I adore. And then I had a second one. Again, no idea. This one seems to have more of a, maybe this is an official fractal spin. I want to keep saying fractal, but I don't even remember. I know that was the kind of spinning I was sort of obsessed with last year. So that's why I assume everything's fractal. Plus it gets that good color change story when you do a fractal spin. But really I was just doing a lot of messing around. But see how it's like green and then, oh, hey, hi, focus, thank you. Yellow, pink, something else, real dark, deep pink in the middle. I don't know what's happening. But anyway, these two lovely hand spuns that seem to be in the finger ring weight family. And the color stories aren't exactly the same, but I feel like they would still go together well enough. I wanted to use with this gorgeous Cormo from Elsa Wool that I bought because Taylor E. Owens talked me into it. Because I'm a sucker for a YouTube video person telling me what to do. And oh my gosh, it's cheap and it's lovely and it's so squishy, but I want to use these together to make Ghost Horses by Caitlin Hunter. I think that would be fantastic. I think it would be so pretty. It would really show this off, and this is nice and soft, and you know, it's a good background color. Get a good contrast going. And this appears to be a 2-ply, so like as a foil to my hand spun, since I don't have mass quantities of my hand spun in this size and like a cream, you know what I mean? Rather than go back and spin more, how about use some stash? I have so much stash. I need to use the things that I own because I'm not one of those cool people on the internet who have like an unlimited supply of money to buy myself yarn. So I'm trying to be a little bit more circumspect with my choices, and I have so much beautiful yarn that I have acquired over many, many years. And my knitting speed has not overtaken my acquisition speed. Yeah. So, in order to actually knit what I own before I die, I need to use what I have and not buy more stuff. No idea what just happened. This is my handmade needle keeper. Yeah, makes me so happy. Look, there's typewriters on the inside. I love that so much. And then the super inner pockets are mustaches. I look so good with the mustache, wouldn't you say? And then, I don't know, arrows. I was going for like black and white and teal all over. And then some of this fun ribbon that's measuring tape. Although I've never really used it as measuring tape, but I should, since I have that option. I haven't sewed anything in quite a while. I have a little stash of fabric, and I very much want to get back to sewing, but it was such a production to like get everything out. And the only big flat table that I have is the dining room table, and you know, the toddler wants to get into everything. And Karma has been very thorough for me, and my mother loves to tell me the story. Oh, I'm disappearing. Of the time that I, as a small child, took a scissors to some fabric that she had very laboriously been pattern matching, like a plaid. She was planning on making a skirt for her mother-in-law, my grandma, and she had been working really hard on this, and my little jerk self showed up with the scissors and wrecked it. And so I'm like very hesitant to let the toddler and my sewing exist in the same universe. And I don't have, my dining room doesn't have any doors. I can't like close it off. So I've just been sort of putting that off indefinitely. Someday maybe I will do some more sewing. I have a sewing machine that is older than I am. That was a gift to me from a coworker when she was cleaning out her deceased mother's house. So I'm trying to like really honor that gift. I think that is really special. It's a Montgomery Ward sewing machine. So I looked it up, and it's like from the 1950s. And it's still going strong. You know, it's lots of good metal parts. The only thing that doesn't work is the bobbin winder, which is minor in the grand scheme. And I am such a novice at sewing. I didn't really want to like shell out a bunch of money, and then it turns out I don't like doing it or something. So if I ever do get around to sewing things again, I would really like to make myself a bunch of ridiculous project bags. Maybe I'll make enough to like set up a little Etsy shop. And I saw this dress that I want to make, and it doesn't look too difficult, and it has pockets, so it meets all my criteria. All right, so one more thing. Hang on. I wanted to show you probably my biggest yarn acquisition to date. It's one of those situations where I have been dreaming of purchasing yarn from this particular yarn dyer for as long as I have known she existed. And that yarn dyer is La Bien-Aimée, based in Paris, France. Part of it is that I really feel like we like just barely missed each other. I guess she started a tea shop right after I left Paris, and I would have loved to hang out with an American who owned a tea shop, like pretty close to my neighborhood too. And then later she got into yarn dyeing, and so now she's got like a tea shop and a yarn store. And the yarn store has this amazing, amazing, talented group of people dyeing all sorts of ridiculous, gorgeous yarns. And last year, for sort of a birthday / Christmas present to myself, I splurged a little bit, and I gotta show you what I got. So this is peanut butter and jelly in Twist Nouveau, and this was one of the skeins that I was like, I don't even know what I'm gonna do with it. I just have to have it, and I only got one because my very best friend gave me a gift card for my birthday, and this is from Renica. It's so pretty. It's got a little sheep. And I love it. And then I don't know if you are familiar with Gigi Gay Glaspie, but she is one of the people on the yarn interwebs that I adore. And La Bien-Aimée like invented 2 types of orange for her, and this one is called RGO, which stands for Really Good Orange, and this is the Merino Sport. And so I am thinking that this one will be the contrast color on a sweater that has some color work in the yoke. I think that this orange would really be an amazing color pop with either sort of a brown or a lighter orange for the background. I have a ton of Knit Picks sport weight yarn from my earliest yarn dyeing experiments, and it's well, it was one of those things where like there were these kits for sweaters or poncho. Oh yeah, 2 of them were ponchos, where the kit was on sale for like cheaper than the yarn was worth. Didn't make any sense to me. I guess they just had an overstock and they were trying to get rid of it. I don't know. But I bought 2 of those, one in like a gray and sage and one in a light and dark purple. So I have all this yarn. Anyway, then I got a fade kit, the Jinju of Cashmere Merino. So this is it's a cashmere and merino blend, in case that wasn't obvious from the name. And I left it in the packaging, but it's sort of like creams and a little bit of gray and pink. Oh, sorry for the crinkling noises. So pretty. And it's a 5 skein fade, and I don't even know what I'm gonna make, but I wanted to add a 6th, but they only came in half, in 50 gram skeins instead of 100. And this is La Belle Epoque, and I felt like this needed to be added to the 5 skein. So also Cashmere Merino. See, it's so pretty. It's so soft. I can't wait to make something with it. Yeah. So I have to figure out what I want to make, because it's sort of a fade and it's fingering weight and it's really soft. So I just want it to be so special. And then the last thing, I was so excited to get a chance to order. I'll just show you one. Wait. So much crinkling. Here it is. The Cory Confetti worsted. This one is 50% Falkland Corriedale, 30% natural recycled fibers, where they're using stuff from their other yarns to make all these fun color pops, and 20% La Bien-Aimée recycled threads. Oh, okay, so it's not all their recycled threads, but anyway, whatever. It's great. They've done 4 different runs of colors, so like a dark gray, a light gray, a yellow, and now a framboise, raspberry, which I want, but one thing at a time. I really, really want to make some sort of ridiculous cabled sweater with this. I just think that this would be the ideal, like it's just a little bit of like fun elevation from your standard gray cable sweater. Give it a little bit of a happy. And I've seen a ton of stuff on Ravelry and wherever about where people have done that, and I'm just trying to figure out. I'm not a super savvy cable knitter, so I don't want to mess it up, and I want to do something that I love and that it's not too much for me, and I like freak out and just rip it all out, and then I have a whole sweater quantity of yarn and I don't know what to do with it because I give up on. Yeah, anyway, I'll figure it out. But maybe the Ede cardigan by Cerelia Rose. I've been thinking about making that sweater for a bajillion years, like since I basically found Ravelry. And if you don't know who that is, if you have some time to troll other parts of the internet, once upon a time there was a web-based show called The Fiber Factor, and it was like Project Runway for knitters. And it was all done online, and it was sponsored by Skacel, which is a yarn company. I ended up buying a little bit of one of their kinds of sock yarn with bamboo in it, and I've never used it. It's very stretchy. Someday I'll try it. But Cerelia Rose was like, she was sort of the handmaiden of the host of the show, or like the what do you call that? When you've got two hosts and one of them's like the straight man and the other one's a little bit more fun. Cerelia Rose was the more fun, like younger and cuter. And turns out she's also a talented designer. She put out a book of patterns later called Magpies and something. It was really cute. I didn't buy it, but I did look at it from the library, and I appreciated what she was up to. But anyway, she has a sweater pattern called Aidez, Aidez, which is French for help, and it's really pretty. And I would love to make it sometime. There was only one other thing I wanted to talk about, was just I don't have like an overarching theme. I don't want to just talk about like, look, I made this thing. Ooh, shiny. I don't have the bandwidth to buy new yarn every single time that I talk to you guys. And I mean, for a while, I'll be able to talk about old finished objects and old acquisitions because you don't know when I bought it. I could just pretend like I bought it last week. That's not really my MO. I'm not interested in lying to you, but I have to pay my mortgage and raise 3 children. Well, I guess one of them's out of the house now, but still, like, raise my children and eat food and pay for gas in our new exciting economy. And so, like, right now, yarn for me is a thing that I fill up a cart and then close the browser window. Like, oh my gosh, I would love to get this yarn, and I would love to get this yarn, and I would love to get this yarn, and look, I've made a $400 order, and now I am going to X, and I can't. Do you have this problem? I have free wool that could take me years to prep properly and spin and use. If I really did my due diligence, I could, in fact, use the yarn that I have and spin it together. I use the wool that I have and spin it in such a way that it would match up enough with my weekender sweater so that I could finish off the sleeves with my own hand spun. I have some hand spun I was thinking about doing that with, but it's 3-ply when everything else is 2-ply, and I'm not sure, like, it's so different. I'm not sure if I would enjoy that, but can we be somewhat frugal and still enjoy this often crazy expensive hobby of ours? I sure hope so. I'm trying. If you don't have this problem, I'm sorry. If you're just here to see me, hi, I love you too. I don't know. I'm new to all of this. Even talking to myself on a screen it's all new. It's been a pleasure, friends. It was lovely to see you. Like and subscribe if you're into this foolishness, and I'll keep trying to do this. And you know, give me a old thumbs up or a comment. Tell me what to do with myself. Bye. Great to see you. See you again.